So I'm Bethany Whitehead, longtime Hamline-Midway resident. I grew up in a house on Hewitt, and then I guess it's been 11 years now that my husband and I have owned this house, which is about half a mile from where I grew up. I don't find that the community is a highly artistic community, but more and more creative people are finding their way to Hamline-Midway, and I really like that. I am an arts administrator, and I currently work at the Playwright Center for one more week, and then I will be moving to Banfill-Locke Center for the Arts, where I will serve as their executive director and lead their artistic programs. Just because I'm leaving my job does not mean I don't care about these individuals. I read tons of plays. Members can send me their work. It's not part of my job because I have 1,200 Playwright members. If I read something from all of them, I would never sleep. I read a lot of their work and give them a lot of comments. And I also make a lot of time for women visual artists and do that through work with WARM, which stands for the Women's Art Resources of Minnesota. It's a small volunteer-based organization. We serve about 200 different female artists, visual artists throughout the Midwest. WARM was founded in 1973. It was our 40th anniversary this year. And at that time there were no teaching positions for women. You go to the University of Minnesota, there was one female faculty member in the entire school. It was really hard to see women artists in museums or in galleries. That landscape has luckily changed. It's not entirely, I would say, even between men and women in the arts, but, and I actually, to this day, still look at any group exhibition at any type of gallery or museum, and I instantly count how many women there are represented in the show and the men. And I don't need it to be 50-50, but when you're seeing a group show with 25 artists and 2 women, that's still, and you do see that. I find that that's still off, that there can't be those inequalities. But, so there's still a need for women to come together and learn from each other. Women also have, I think there's a unique challenge for female artists who are mothers, because there's an expectation that art is a side, a hobby, something that you should put aside when you have a child, and you should focus on taking care of that child, and that is a very common experience among artists who become mothers. And so I think anytime you can bring women together into that shared experience and really give them opportunity to work together and talk about their art and their lives and how they balance it is really important. I'm not an artist. I don't have that desire to always make things, but I feed off of that energy of the people who just have to be moving, working with their hands or creating something or interpreting the world through their art. And so I like to be around them. And I like how art can be beautiful, but also can make us think.
So you're not an artist, but you work with artists.
I do. Creative problem solving is a whole nother side of the spectrum, and that's where I really feel that that's my art, is the managing multiple projects and taking care of details and being creative when there's not enough money to put something on, of how you can still be successful. But I think it's really interesting that the collapse of the economy in 2008 coincided exactly with the passing of the Legacy Amendment, and that is the constitutional amendment that calls for a portion of sales tax to be allocated to the arts in the state of Minnesota. Wow. And it is radically changing the life of many artists, not all of them of course, but there are now programs that through the State Arts Board and through the regional art councils, which are funneled down from the legislature as far as money, millions upon millions of dollars are now available to individual artists for their own projects. And so it's a really exciting time for artists to be able to go and get a $5,000 grant to realize a new project or to explore a new art medium or things along those lines. I do a lot of outreach too to try to help get the word about our organization to the right people.